Chat, how we doing tonight? Lot of news. It's been like, I don't know, 5 days since we did a transfer live stream. A lot of stuff's picked up kind of recently, honestly. Just a lot of bangers, a lot of big names being rumored to be coming to MLS, leaving MLS. A lot of stuff is picking up traction. You know, the season is about 3 weeks away from this past Saturday. Champions Cup starts tonight. You know, MLS season's right around the corner. A lot of stuff happening. Hope you guys are having a great night. Hope you guys are excited to talk about some of these moves. Kind of get your opinion on what you think about them, and kind of talk about if we think any of these are realistic, because some of them are just, you know, just crazy. They're not going to happen, but we'll talk about that. But before we do, if you haven't already, we got 57 in the chat already. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you haven't already. Let's try to get to our normal 100 likes on all of our transfer live streams. Also, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to the channel. 230 subscribers away from 12,000. And we only have like 2 weeks till the season starts. Hopefully we can hit that before the season starts. So make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos or live streams. Okay. It's good to see you, Mr. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so let's talk about Ronaldo first, right? Because this is something that's happened in the last couple of days. Now, we know that Ronaldo has been rumored to be an MLS player for what now? 15 years that they've been talking about him coming here one day. And, you know, I remember even going back to 2018 before he went to Juve, that they were talking about him maybe going to the Galaxy. And then was he going to be the first signing of LAFC? Was he going to be the first signing Inter Miami? I mean, this is going back several years, right? And even I think last year we did a video talking about him possibly leaving Al Nassr because he was disappointed with something going on with his contract, or I don't know what he was upset about, but he was upset with something, right? He was discontent with something happening at Al Nassr, but he ultimately re-signed and he didn't leave, right? Cristiano Ronaldo. But it seems he is frustrated once again. Now, I'm kind of paraphrasing of like what I read and stuff about what he's upset with, but I think he's mostly upset with the financial fair play. He believes these other teams are signing too many star players and that his team are not doing enough to help him win. And he doesn't think the league's doing enough to kind of step in and stop this, because Benzema just recently signed with Al Hilal, the team that was chasing Messi, the team that signed Neymar. They just recently signed him. I think they just won the Saudi Pro League in 2025, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this apparently has him very upset. And I think Benzema was actually trolling him at one point today, which is interesting. But let's get to the MLS news. I just wanted to kind of do a little backstory to how we got here. So this is a Cristiano account. It says, breaking, the strategy is to bring Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi together to promote MLS. In case he leaves Al Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo is considering a sensational move to MLS this summer. With LAFC and Inter Miami emerging as the frontrunners to land the Portuguese superstar, the race is wide open. This could set the stage for another chapter in the Ronaldo-Messi rivalry on American soil, or even more intriguingly, see the two legends unite at the same club. And then he goes on to say, would you want to see Ronaldo and Messi as teammates? Okay, so let's just go ahead and clear out the Inter Miami stuff, right? Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. He's not going to sign for Inter Miami. He can't sign for Inter Miami. They have two DPs. Other than Messi, they have three total. He cannot sign with Inter Miami. He would have to take a pay cut. Not going to happen. He's making, like, what is it, $300 million a year or something like that at Al Nassr. He doesn't need the money, but he's not going to sign for Inter Miami. It's just not going to happen. So you can go ahead and clear that one out of the way. It's not happening. Not happening. Okay. So LAFC kind of makes a little bit of sense, but I don't think that this is going to happen. The reason why I say I don't think it's going to happen is because LAFC also have some roster restrictions themselves. Now, there is a rumor we'll talk about later with them possibly offloading one of their key players, but I just don't see this happening because LAFC are not going to sign they're not going to sign a 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo is obviously not, he's going to play at the World Cup in 2026. He's going to start for Portugal. And some people think they might even be a real contender to win it all in 2026. And, I could honestly see that. But this doesn't make any sense. We're going to talk about Denis Bouanga later, but selling Denis Bouanga and replacing him, Denis Bouanga is 31 years old, replacing him with a 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think Ronaldo's birthday was actually like yesterday. I know it's in February. I just don't remember when. He's either 41 or he's going to be 41 in a couple weeks. But they're not going to replace a 31-year-old with a 41-year-old. It's just not going to happen. And I don't think that Cristiano Ronaldo and Son Heung-min would play well together. I don't think that would be the dynamic duo we've seen with Denis Bouanga. Now, nobody is saying that Cristiano Ronaldo isn't better than Denis Bouanga, especially legacy-wise. I'm just saying right now it doesn't make sense. And a lot of people think that Cristiano Ronaldo is a club not distraction. I don't want to say the word and, get in trouble with YouTube, but you get what I'm saying. Like, he obviously leaves the club. A lot of people feel like he leaves the club worse off than when he found it. I don't think LAFC is going to be interested in signing him. Now, is there another MLS team that could sign him? Maybe there could be, but the problem is I don't think he's actually going to leave Saudi Arabia. I don't think he's going to leave. I think he's going to probably get what he wants and he'll end up staying. Because we've heard this before. We've heard him say that he wants to leave and that he's pissed off about whatever they're doing. And he ends up re-signing and he stays. So I don't think that there's really any chance that he's coming to Major League Soccer because he wouldn't even come until after the summer anyways. So at that point, what does it really matter? This is his last World Cup. He's 41 years old. Could he still play another 2 years? Yeah, probably. But, if anyone's pretending he's the same player he was 3 years ago, that's just not true, right? So I want to ask you guys, do you think Ronaldo is going to come to Major League Soccer? Is he going to stay in the Saudi Pro League? And if you do think he's coming to Major League Soccer, what team do you think he would go to? Like, who do you think he would go to? What team? Mr. says, always said the most obvious place for Ronaldo would be somewhere in LA. Ronaldo isn't the player he was. He's still great, but not at that level. He's not. He's not nearly as good as what he once was, obviously, because he's 41, right? It just happens. You lose a couple steps when you get older. So I'm not surprised, that he's not the same world-class player he once was. But, I do think marketability-wise, he would be nice in Major League Soccer. But I just don't think he's going to come because he's making crazy money. My God, he's going to be a billionaire just from the money he's made in Saudi Arabia alone. Donnie says maybe Ronaldo comes over in a part ownership deal, so the contract part won't matter as much here. Possibly. I mean, that definitely is possible, but I just don't know. I think they gave him equity in the Al Nassr club, whatever that means. I don't know what team would be willing to do that, honestly. Maybe. He says, come to Orlando, CR7. The rivalry with Messi continues. Yeah, that would be interesting. And obviously, there's a huge Brazilian population, which I know it's not the same, but I do think that the fact he speaks Portuguese, he is a world icon, that would be an interesting matchup to see him at Orlando City. That would be interesting. Griezmann's more likely to land in LAFC than Ronaldo. Probably. That's probably true. Do you think it will be a Beckham Messi type deal where MLS and Apple help make it happen, or will it be more of a conventional deal? I don't know. I think it's very unlikely he would come, honestly. But anything's possible. But it just feels like anytime he gets upset with his club in Saudi Arabia, they normally cater to what he wants and they normally, meet his demands. So I just think he's kind of posturing right now. I don't think he's actually going to come over here. But if he was to come over here, he's definitely not going to enter Miami. I can tell you that. Not happening. Barry says Ronaldo should go to New York City FC or DC. No clue how their roster build is. Yeah, they both have. Maybe he could go to DC. I can't remember if they have 3 DPs. They think they have 2. And NYCFC have all 3 DP spots filled, if I'm not mistaken. Thing is, he's already made enough money to be happy forever. If he wants to leave Saudi, he'll leave Saudi. That's true. But let's be honest. If Ronaldo came over here and he signed a TAM deal with any team, right? Would anyone honestly believe that? There would be several people saying that the team that signed him would be cheating, or that they're paying him under the table, or they're doing some type of backroom deal. Nobody would believe that they're actually paying him 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 million, whatever the max TAM deal is. Nobody would actually believe that. That's the issue. Nobody would believe it. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see what happens. Let's move on to the next topic, okay? So earlier today, Minnesota United, it was announced they have advanced negotiations to sign James Rodríguez, a free agent following his departure from Lyon of Liga MX. This is by Cesar Luis Merlo. I think the first person to report this deal is Pipe Sierra. This is interesting, too. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this deal. I was talking with a friend earlier today about it, and he was telling me he was a little disappointed in this move, and his line of thinking was that he doesn't know if this really moves the needle. And look, I kind of understand what he's saying. Obviously, James Rodríguez once was a pretty big name, but he's kind of fallen off quite a bit. But his line of thinking was, or what he was saying was, is James Rodríguez going to get any new fans for Minnesota United that they didn't already have? Is he going to get them any new fans that they didn't already have? Are any Colombian fans going to support Minnesota United and keep supporting them after he leaves? Could a team in a Colombian heavy area of the United States signed him and maybe had helped their club help bring some, not recognition to the club, but help bring some popularity, maybe get the team in a better spot than they were before, get new fans for the team, right? New York City FC, Red Bulls, obviously Inter Miami are going to sign him. That'd be a bad matchup to have James Rodríguez in Miami. And I think too many distractions, right? Too many distractions. But could they have brought him somewhere else where they could have capitalized on the market? Yes. It's good to see you, nephew. It's good to see you. It's been a minute, Cute Kenny. Appreciate you for stopping by. But could they have put him somewhere else? Now, this is my line of thinking on it. I really don't care where he signs, because I think James Rodríguez, now some people think he's washed. That's debatable. But either way, he's going to be motivated at least for 6 months until the World Cup in 2026, which he will play for Colombia, right? I think it's better to have him in MLS than not have him in MLS. So it really doesn't matter where he's playing at, is my opinion on it. Like, I don't care if he's in Minnesota, Sporting Kansas City, Colorado, Seattle, Miami, wherever it may be, right? As long as he is in MLS and you think he's still good, then I say, hey, sign him. Minnesota, fine, whatever, right? Now, the reason why he probably did go to Minnesota is because they were willing to pay him more than any other team in Major League Soccer was willing to pay him. And Mr. Mister says, I'm so surprised it's Minnesota. I mean, I think a lot of people are surprised, but I think it's because they probably offered him the most money. That's probably what it is. I'm going to be curious to see what he's getting paid in Minnesota whenever he signs his deal, how long it is, how much he's getting paid, all that kind of stuff. But he's definitely going to be a DP for Minnesota United. And the problem is a lot of teams probably didn't want to make him a DP because of his injury history, his commitment problems, a lot of things, right? He's just not the same player he once was. I thought Orlando would have been a really good landing spot for him. I just don't know if, and Barry, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. We're going to talk about Obed later, so you might want to stick around for that. We're definitely going to talk about Obed Vargas. But I just think that this is a random spot for him, and I'm surprised there's some other teams that didn't step up and maybe get into the competition to sign him. But we'll see. It's a TAM deal already confirmed. Is it, though? Are we sure? Are we sure it's a TAM deal? Are we sure it's a TAM deal? Now, do you think he's going to be good? Michael Pelly says, I'm glad that Minnesota is still trying to sign players. I'm worried for them this year after Ramsey leaving. Yeah, I am surprised it's not a DP deal. That makes it a little bit more. James signed. It's not the rumor. It's the truth. No, I agree. I'm not saying it is a rumor at this point. I mean, he is going to Minnesota. I just don't know what exactly he's signing for. So we'll keep an eye on that. I haven't seen TAM deal. But if you guys have, that's interesting. It makes it even more weird. I mean, maybe his market was really dry. I mean, we saw earlier that there was some teams he was linked with, like Austin. I think he was linked with, was it Cincinnati or Columbus? It was Columbus. And then obviously Austin. I think maybe his agent was trying to drum up some interest and see who would be wanting to possibly sign him, right? So we'll see what happens with this. Wonder how long James Rodríguez decides to play in Minnesota. I mean, he's been on some one-year deals for a while now. I mean, I think the longest, let's see what the longest stint he's had at a club in the last 5 years. He's been signing a lot of one-year deals. Let's see. Last 5 years, he's played one-year deals. Everton, Al Rayyan, Olympiacos, Sao Paulo, Rayo Vallecano, and Lyon. Like, he's been playing on one-year deals since the last time he played for a team for 2 straight years was Bayern Munich, and that was 2017, 2019 on loan. So his track record of staying at a club for more than 1 year, not very good in the last 5 years. So this probably would be a one-year deal. I mean, he is 34. He'll be 35 in the summer. We'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, I think it's good for him to be in MLS. I'm not mad at it, honestly. So we'll just keep an eye and see what happens and see how he plays. But I don't think it's going to really move the needle. But I'm not mad to have him here, especially if he balls out for Colombia at the World Cup. We'll see if he does, but we'll see. I mean, for Minnesota, I give it if they get him on a TAM deal, that's an A+ signing. That's an A+ signing for them. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. Just hope Minnesota doesn't carry on playing terrible. We'll see if they do. They're territory. They're definitely a nightmare. So the next thing we're going to talk about Denis Bouanga. This is something else I want to talk about. Denis Bouanga. Denis Bouanga has been rumored to go to Fluminense. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, guys, if you're just now joining us, 95 people in the chat right now, make sure you guys smash the like button if you haven't already. Last I checked, we were at like 35 likes. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you haven't already. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got a lot of MLS content coming up in the near future. Even might have an interview with a big-time MLS coach. You're not going to miss that. So make sure you hit the little bell notification so when that video drops, you are notified when it happens. Okay, so let's read this report by Victor Lessa. He said, all the information I have about the negotiation with Denis Bouanga, the conversations are not closed. In fact, quite the opposite. As I reported earlier, the sticking point is the financial issue. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to stop sharing that. Let me pull this back up. I don't know what happened there. Here we go. Anyway, So, as I reported earlier, the sticking point is the financial issue. Fluminense is trying to reduce the amount requested by LA, which exceeds $15 million. So, we already know that Denis Bouanga has had a couple bids for him this offseason. We saw that he was pursued by Inter Miami. We saw that he was pursued by Inter Miami earlier in this offseason before they signed German Berterame. There was rumors of him going to Club America last year in 2025. Denis Bouanga has been a very, very hot name in the transfer market for LAFC the last, probably 18 months. And I'll be honest with you, I do think he wants to leave LAFC. And I know a lot of people said that was weird for me to say and that they were confused. I just don't think he really wants to be here much more or any longer because he's not getting paid what he wants to get paid. And I think that he is making last night, I think he was making like $4 million a year, which I want to double check on that. I know it was like $2 million when he first came to MLS. Let's see what he's making now. I mean, he got a pay increase. So he's making $3.7 million. I mean, he is underpaid when you consider the productivity of what he does compared to other MLS players. He's underpaid. I mean, $3.7 million for a guy who's a second place in the Golden Boot race. I mean, Chucky Lozano was making like $8 million for San Diego FC, and he wasn't nearly as productive as Denis Bouanga. So Denis Bouanga wants to get paid. His teammate Sun Heung-min is making 11.1 million. Miguel Almiron is making $8 million for Atlanta. There's so many players. Ricky Puig is making $6 million. Jonathan Bamba is making $5.5 million for Chicago. Hani Mukhtar is making 5.3. Case being, Denis Bouanga thinks he's underpaid. He wants to make more money for LAFC. So I think that he's tired of not being paid what he thinks he should be getting paid. And also, I don't think he really likes living over here. That's just my interpretation of it. I don't think he does. I don't think he likes living here. I think he wants to. I won't think he wants to leave. And I do think he would have probably went to Inter Miami if they had accepted the transfer. Miami is so much closer to France, which is where he's from and his family's from. I mean, LA is 3,000 miles away from the East Coast of the United States. So I think that France is probably like a 9 or 10 hour flight from the East Coast. So he's 3,000 miles plus another 10-hour flight. He's just so far away from home. He's so far away from home. It's probably like a 16 or 17-hour flight to France. I just think he's tired of being so far away. I really believe that. I think he's tired of being so far away. And plus other things. It's not just one thing. It's like several things. And I just think that it's inevitable that he's going to leave. Now, LAFC had made some comments earlier, John Thorrington, about about the issue and what they were going to do and how they said they didn't really want to sell him and all this stuff. I mean, they kind of don't. I mean, they really don't have to sell him. They don't have to sell him if they don't want to. But the problem is that if you have a disgruntled player, that's not really a good thing you would want to happen. Or just missed a great chance versus Tigres. Yeah, I'll have to tune into that in a second. Tigres. That'd be crazy if they did lose to Tigres. And Boss Daddy says 3.7 in LA is really like 2 million. Yeah, because of the state income taxes. That's true. He's making a lot less money because of the taxes he's paying. I mean, he really is. He's not making nearly as much. So there was a rumor we talk about Fluminense trying to sign him. And by the way, Brazilian clubs are really, really spending a lot of money this offseason. They are doubling down. They're becoming a really difficult. They're going to be harder and harder to beat in Copa Libertadores for some of these other teams. And so that's interesting. They're definitely loading up and spending a lot of money on these transfer fees. Anyway, so Denis Bouanga has been a hot topic of transfer news. And if LAFC were to lose him, they would be in trouble. And I just did a video about this a couple weeks ago about how they're already having one of the worst off seasons I've ever seen in MLS. And if they lost their second best player, it would just amplify that even more of how bad of an offseason this has been for the club. It's been terrible. And if they lose their second best player, the season might be shot because they don't have a replacement lined up. They don't have a replacement lined up. Is Brazil really closer to France, though? It probably isn't, but he'd be getting paid more money. He'd be getting paid more money. The difference is that Rio is a nice place to live. I mean, I've never been to Rio. LA is nice if you have money, obviously. I just think I think Brazil's definitely closer to France. I would assume it's definitely closer to France. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'll have to look at the flights and see how far Rio is from France. But I just think that this is something that they keep talking about. It's eventually going to happen. I think he's going to get sold in the summer. I don't think he's going to get sold right now because if they did, their season would be tanked. And they would piss off their new signing in Son Heung-min, who they just, obviously he's the most important player on the team. They would piss him off as he just signed. So I don't think they're gonna sell him until probably the summer if they're going to, so they have a replacement lined up. But man, what a disaster. I mean, this is the worst offseason for the club in its history. They just haven't done anything to make this team significantly better when everyone who watched the team saw the deficiencies they had in 2025 and why they didn't make it to the MLS Cup final. So normally when a team is bad, you make signings to improve your weaknesses. That's not what they did whatsoever. Hell, some teams that win the league improve their weaknesses because every team has weaknesses. So Mr. says for LAFC, it's the Ted DiBiase rule. Everybody's got a price. No, that's true. That's true. I mean, 15 million for Denis Bouanga is kind of crazy considering he's 31 and he'll be 32 in August. I mean, he's been really good, but I mean, if someone offered him $13 million, they should have taken it. Mr. says, I'm aware of that age myself with that last comment. Jay the Man says it is closer, and I believe they have those direct flights. I'm not sure about that, honestly, but that could be true. I'm not sure. Harry says, just check Rio is about the same distance to Paris as LAX. Interesting. But is he making more money? Because if you're getting paid more money, it makes it a lot more appealing to do something like that than if you're not getting paid more money, correct? I mean, that's the way I look at it. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if Denis Bouanga ends up going to anywhere, right? I mean, there's obviously been a lot of places. I mean, do you think, okay, let me ask you guys this. If Denis Bouanga leaves LAFC, are they in trouble? If Denis Bouanga leaves LAFC this transfer window, is LAFC in trouble? I want to know what you guys think. I mean, I think the answer is pretty clear, but I'm just, they do have a very good player in Son Heung-min who has made the team a lot better because the team was really bad. I think before he got there last year, they were underperforming. And then when he got there, it turned everything around. Kenny says, I think Chivas USA will be fine. No, they have Son. Yes, they are because it'll go from Bouanga FC to Son FC prior to Son signing. If Bouanga leaves, I will officially become a San Diego FC fan. That's funny. Six says I wouldn't be mad at all. Their new Swedish U22 signing should be good. He might be. I don't know. U22s are just so hit or miss. Salah and Griezmann to LAFC would be greatest transfer in history. Tobar says another reason MLS needs to be in Libertadores outside of UEFA Champions League. This is the biggest cup tournament in club competition. Of course, and it could rival. I think it could rival UEFA one day. I really believe that. I think with more resources and better clubs, 100% could. Mr. says if Bouanga leaves, they'll have to be a very good replacement ready. If not, it'll be a disaster. Yeah, I think so. I think that's 100% accurate. Let's see. Nez says the bigger question for LAFC is the coach. It'd be huge for him to have Denis in his first season, especially because Denis has been a top player in the league for 4 years. That's true. And Denis is obviously a top 5, top 10 player in Major League Soccer. Anytime you lose a player of that quality, it is going to make your team worse, right? I mean, it's just a fact. It's going to make your team worse. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what they can. Flamengo just dropped 50 million on Paqueta, so they have money to compete. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying earlier about Brazil just spending crazy amounts of money. Brazil is just dropping bags left and right. Did you talk about James Rodríguez? Sorry, I did. I talked about James Rodríguez Probably, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. If you guys missed it, you'll have to. I talked about Ronaldo first, talked about James Rodríguez second. Now we're talking about Denis Bouanga, and we're about to move on to another MLS player. It's Evander. Evander, a guy who's been in contention for MVP 2 years in a row. Now, Ekrem Kanor is a Turkish journalist. He's kind of hit or miss, mostly miss. A lot of the other journalists kind of give him a hard time. But he says, breaking exclusive, Brazilian Giants are circling FC Cincinnati star Evander. Valued at $25 million, the playmaker is at the center of a fierce transfer battle. Flamengo, Palmeiras, Botafogo, and boyhood club Vasco da Gama all keen to sign him. So, Evander was just signed by FC Cincinnati last year from Portland Timbers, and I want to say the deal was it $12 million? Maybe it was more than that. Let me see. I just want to double check and see what they paid. Yeah, $12 million. So they paid $12 million for Evander in 2025, and he had a great season for Cincinnati. He did disappear towards the end a little bit, like he wasn't as good as he should have been, but he is getting a lot of there's a lot of interest in him abroad to sign him because he's been very, very good. And he's only 27 years old. So that's relatively young. So like he's not super old. And he's a good player, very good player. But Cincinnati has also been rumored by this same journalist to be potentially selling Kevin Danke, their striker. There was the rumor of Napoli. There was a rumor today about another club. I don't think it was a Brazilian club too. Maybe it was. So that'd be crazy. Brazilians going crazy. But I don't believe that FC Cincinnati are going to sell their two best players at this point in their season because the season's just about to start, right? And this is another reason why this calendar change cannot come soon enough. This is another reason. Because if Cincinnati were to sell both of these players or even one of these players, they're not going to replace them until the summertime, and they're going to have to play 60 to 65% of their season without one of their key players. That's too long. So this is another reason why they need to, or why the schedule change is going to happen. But I just don't know if I believe this. I don't know if I believe that they're going to sell both of these guys in the same window. I don't know if they're going to sell either one of them. I think that I just don't know if that's going to happen. I honestly don't know if that's going to happen. I think that they might keep both of these guys for the 2026 season, see what happens, wait till they get to the World Cup, and there's a lot more interest. And, the World Cup transfer season is just insane. Like, it feels like everybody's stock and value just increases drastically, right? So I think that they're going to hold off. They're going to wait and see what happens, what the market is for both these guys, and they don't want to be bad in 2026. I mean, there's people's jobs on the line. Pat Noonan, I think, is a fraud, honestly. I don't think he's that good of a manager, and I think that he needs every piece he can get. So, yeah, and Mr. Mister says Tigres players really feeling the cold in Canada. Yeah, I saw the pregame. It was like snowing already, which is crazy. That is really, really insane. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Evander and Kevin Danke, but it's something to keep an eye on. I just don't like when players are leaving at this late in the preseason. I mean, literally, the season starts in 2.5 weeks. The Champions Cup starts tonight. San Diego FC is playing Pumas tonight, which we won't be doing a live watch along for that because it's just too late. I can't do one right now. It starts at 11 p.m. my time. I can't. I'm just gonna have to watch it. I'm not gonna be able to do a watch along with it, but I might do one for the next one. I might do another one for leg 2. It just really depends on what time it starts. Right? It's just too late. It's too late. I'm gonna have to watch it instead. Okay, so the last piece of news is that Obed Vargas, the Mexican international, he's American, but he's playing for Mexico, is going to join Atletico Madrid. Now, Fabrizio reported this like 4 days ago, something like that. Now, this is a surprising move too. I really like Obed Vargas. I rate him very highly. I think he was their best player at a lot of times in 2025. But the problem is that he is 20 years old, and I just don't know if he is. I don't know if he's of that quality yet to play for Atletico Madrid. I don't know if he I mean, this is good for Major League Soccer, obviously, but I just don't know if he's ready for that move. And if he ends up going on loan, then he really wasn't ready for that move. You don't want him to go on loan army. You want him to go to a club and play. Um, so I just think this is a very weird move for Obed Vargas. There was the rumors about him going to Club America in 2025, and they rejected the offer. I think it was like 10 to 12 million, something like that. That Seattle Sounders. I could be wrong about that number, but there were rumors that there's several Liga MX teams that were interested in him. I just don't know if he's going to play, and I think that's the most important thing for a 20-year-old kid is to go to a club where he's going to get minutes. So we'll see. And look, the money's not bad. I think what was it? Did they pay like 8 million? Maybe they paid a little bit more. What was the actual number that Seattle received for Obed Vargas? Let me see. I just don't want to quote the wrong number of what they paid for him. Sources tell ESPN that Seattle will receive a club record transfer fee that would put it in excess of $4 million that Tottenham paid for DeAndre Yedlin. So it's actually a little bit less than I thought. But, also, too, he's going to be out of contract, I think, at the end of the season. And he could sign anywhere for free after the 20 and Barry says $3.2 million plus 20% add-on or sell-on. I mean, and he could sign for free, right? He could sign for free with any club this summer because he'd have 6 months left on his deal. So it's better to get something than nothing. But it hurts a little bit because they could have gotten like, 10 or $11 million at one point this summer. He's born on February 5th. Oh, you're talking about Ronaldo. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so that is a little frustrating if you're a Seattle Sounders fan. You obviously want to get the most money possible for your players, right? You don't want to undercut it. You don't want to sell short or sell low. But I'm rooting for the kid. I have nothing against Obed Vargas. Like I said, I think he's a very good player. I just don't know if he's going to start or how much he's going to play for Atletico Madrid. I just don't know how much he's going to play. I don't know how much he's going to play. And I hope he plays a lot. I hope he doesn't go on loan army. I just thought he was going to go to a club that was going to play him, quite a bit. I mean, is he going to start over Koke? Is he going to start over Johnny Cardoso? Like, whose spot is he taking? Whose spot is he taking? That's my point. So he's going to be a depth piece on this team. Like that's what he's going to be. He's going to be a depth piece on a title contending La Liga team that's playing in the Champions League. Unless they got knocked. Did they get knocked out already? Maybe they did get knocked out already. I'm not sure. I can't remember if they did get knocked out already. Either way, lots happened in between the Champions League. A lot of live stuff happened in between. But either way, he's going to be a depth piece for a title contending La Liga team. Is that best for his growth? And also, we forgot about Thiago Almada. I mean, there's Thiago Almada. There's a lot of guys on here. There's a lot of talent in that midfield for Atletico Madrid. So, listen, I'm rooting for the guy. I wish him the best. I just don't know if it was the right move. And we'll find out. Look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I said, nothing against him. But I think playing at 20 is more important than where you're playing. And I mean, obviously there's some nuance to that too, because you could be playing in, the third or fourth division. I'm just saying that being on the bench at Atletico Madrid, is that actually better than playing at Club America every game, playing at Ajax every game, playing at Sporting Lisbon every game? Is that the best move for this young guy? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. They'll probably put him on loan. Yeah, probably. But that's what sucks. That's what honestly sucks. At least we have Rothrock. Yeah, the off-season winners and off-season losers is going to be very depressing. Ajax are trash. Well, hey, are you a Feyenoord fan? Are you a PSV fan? Coachella Valley Invitational starts this weekend. Good games are guaranteed. That's true. I always like the Coachella Valley. But listen, I think that's going to be all for tonight. I don't think there's anything really else to talk about. Now, there was a rumor, real quick, actually, I want to touch on this real quick. LAFC did sign a Portuguese a Portuguese 6 on loan. I do want to talk about that real quick. Let me try to find that real quick. See if I can find, I forgot what his name was. His name is, where is this guy? Okay, here we go. Stefan, is it Eustaquio? I'm not really good at pronouncing the I'm not really good at pronouncing uh the Portuguese names, but apparently he's on his way to LAFC via loan from Porto, according to multiple outlets. 29-year-old Canadian midfielder made 156 appearances for Porto and played a crucial role in 4 trophies for the Portuguese side. And I think there's reports saying that he was going to be on loan, and there was an option to buy him for, I want to say, there was an option to buy him for 7 million euros, I think, something like that. Yeah, like I think they were going to potentially buy him for 7 million euros. So that's interesting. Now, obviously, I don't think this would be a good DP signing for them. I don't know what the hell this is. Anyway, I don't know if this would be a good signing for them as a DP. 7 million euros is kind of steep in MLS for a number 6. But either way, they're going to get a DP level player on loan, and we'll see how that helps their team. But they really need more than that. I think they need a striker. I think they need another winger. I think they need a number 10. I mean, the Swedish guy they signed is supposedly pretty good, Budry, the Swedish international. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they can do. We'll have to see what else they can do, and maybe if they'll make any other additions. But so far, it's been a very disappointing offseason for LAFC. But I mean, this guy might be decent, right? He might be better than Schwanier, who was playing the 6 for LAFC because Igor Jesus got hurt. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what LAFC do going forward. And man, transfer season's almost over, guys. Hard to believe. Hard to believe it's already almost over. But before I go, hope you guys have a great night. Make sure you guys like this stream down below before you head out. 125 of you in the chat. Make sure you guys smash the like button before you head out. Let's get that 100 likes. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 230 till 12K. Closer and closer. We're growing and we're growing. We're going to hit that number for sure before the season starts. Also, hit the little bell notification so you never miss another video. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.